I wouldn't even say it's vague. It's saying Elbaph is D, so it's like you first initial thoughts are saying this is where it originates. You know what I'm saying? That's what initial thoughts. I'm like Elbaph is D. I understand what you're saying as well. It's like Joyboy had allies and things like that, and
Yeah, but I
D
mean,
was
he
initially
definitely
a
came from
clan and stuff
somewhere
like
else.
that.
Wax, the Sun God was for sure whoever he was in one of these stories. He was not the good guy. The Davy clan is not portrayed as good people. Look at the Rocks, look at Blackbeard, like you know what I'm saying. So now that we know for sure that they are also part of the D, there could be like a light and a dark. Also said you're doing that thing that you do where you pretty much hate the fact that you was born. That's very telling of his character because that finally gives us some insight on Shanks the person and not Shanks the emperor, great pirate who only does these mystical, magnificent things.
Welcome to another episode of Ship Talk, our One Piece talk show where we dive into everything happening in the world of One Piece. This is Sauce, Scotto, I'm Jay, and as always, thank you for being a part of the crew. So, after many, many, many weeks, finally in that super long flashback, right? And this stuff's pretty exciting, bro. We're getting right into it. Finally get to see Luffy again. First time I seen Luffy on a page in I don't know how long.
About time, about time, about time.
Yeah, bro. It just kind of gets to the point where it's like, all right, these side characters is cool, and we need to know the rest of the story and all that, but gotta get back to the main characters.
I love to see the fact that, and as soon as we return back to the present, even though we're jumping ahead a little bit because it was a lot in this chapter, but when we return back to the present, I really enjoy the fact that Loki announces, "I'm free," like, and they made sure to put it in bold font because obviously Luffy is the freedom warrior of liberation. I don't know why I just got stuck like that. That was ugly, but yeah, no, that my boy is the warrior of liberation. We're bringing freedom, city to city, coast to coast. But now, did anybody pay attention to how Scappa pretty much foreshadowed what told Shanks without telling him pretty much, you're going to be relevant to the grand scheme of the end, but you got to be patient. And he also said you're doing that thing that you do where you pretty much hate the fact that you was born. That's very telling of his character because that finally gives us some insight on Shanks the person and not Shanks the emperor, great pirate who only does these mystical, magnificent things.
Yeah, he's
This is
sick.
like,
He's part of that.
yeah, like this is like his first piece of his actual character that we really get to find out about. Like, oh, so Brody hates his existence. That's new. That's a brand new facet to his whole, everything we ever thought about him. Like it gives us a good starting point for real. What y'all think?
Definitely. I do think that like we got to see that it's like, hold on, everybody plays a specific role when you try to get a big thing accomplished, and that's kind of what Gaban was given to Shanks. Like, yeah, you pivotal in everything that you want to happen, but this is not where you need to be doing something right now. You can't feel bad that you share the same blood as the reason why Harold had to go. Like they just got close being Blades. Is it God's Blades?
Yep.
So they just got close about being God's Blades. He's feeling comfortable in Elbaph. Like he's there. Like he's built a relationship with Harold, and then for him to know that his own son had to take him out of the game, and it's because of what he's connected to. Like you said, it's a big building block in the character of Shanks outside of the mysterious. He'll put you down, conquerors hockey man.
Man,
Like we finally get to know his backstory a little bit more in depth. So I like that a lot, and I just like the fact that Gaban is like, nah, you that. Like he's instilling the confidence in him. Like everything that you feeling right now, hold on to it. We'll be back.
facts, facts. And I like the fact that like during the flashback, we got to see like during the end of it, we got to see a lot of emotion about a lot of emotion for what like Harold meant to each specific character. Obviously for Loki, it was, that's his father, but for Shanks and Gabin, we got to see how his death really was affecting his close friends outside of Elbaph because a big piece of his character was spreading Elbaph across the world, making new friends, and really, you know what I'm saying, spreading the reach and doing like that situation doesn't happen if Harold doesn't make friends outside of Elbaph. You know, so I think that was a big building block to that as well, where it's like it wasn't all for nothing. Because look at these great friends that you amassed, and look how in the future we gonna get where we going. Your
I'm,
sacrifice wasn't for nothing. Like
I'm
you know
with
what I'm
you on
saying?
that. I just had a eureka from that because like Harold's whole thing was having Elbaph be a part of the world government, and with Luffy being the warrior of liberation and knowing what's going on, he possibly may be the reason why Elbaph's going to be a part of a whole new world government because what's going to the new regime that's going to take over the world. Now that we know that the King of the Pirates is going to be the one who sets the new world, and we know who the King of the Pirates is going to be.
Right.
So this is just the building blocks. Of just look, everything he really wanted, he actually got in the end. He did right by Elbaph because now they're connected to the warrior of liberation. Like Sun God Nika is like hand in hand with y'all once again, and I don't even want to get there, y'all, but just know D
Nah, facts.
is around.
Because Moo literally said, you know, that's what I get for thinking that I can bypass fate.
Mm-hmm.
We are not with the D. The Elbaph is the D. So it all makes sense why that whole concoction it didn't work. It wasn't gonna work. And it just like I said, it just makes me feel like it all makes sense. They were a closed away country that was known to terrorize others. And a big part of the D people that I've picked up throughout my journey of One Piece is just simply the fact that the people of D lean on each other. Teamwork, friends, love, honor, like all of those type of themes follow the people of D. So if you are one of those people and you're shelved off from society, kind of like Wano was, another clan of D, you know what I'm saying? You can see how that affects them. Because once they're back open to others, you can see how powerful they become outright, one by one. And I think, yeah, I think that that was a big discovery right there. And the fact that Mu let us know that there's a cost to his knights. He's not the invincible just entity we thought.
Do I dare say this is how we learn? This is where we learn how they're going to be able to go against Emu. Like, is this what this is starting? The explanation of how he can whatever it is can end up being beat in the end game.
I think so. And my reasoning for that is, I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but way back when the Revolutionary Army members asked Dragon, you know, what's our first move? He stated the first thing we got to do is get rid of the guy's knights. And that was how we got introduced as the audience to the guy's knights. Who's that? Who are these people? Like, that's when we found out it's another faction outside of the Five Elders. Like, before we was actually introduced to him, Dragon actually said that out his mouth, like, that's who we go after first, the guy's knights. Like, we gotta remove them first. So with Dragon being a person that we know has a lot of information about the world and Emu, and you know what I'm saying, it would make sense that finding out today each night comes with a price to move, because the Five Elders was trying to get wicked immediately. Okay, bet they got Harald out the way. Ooh, we still got our circle. We can just send another one and get this going. Moon was like, nah, 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 nah. Because we don't know what killed him. We don't know what the heck's in Elbaph. Like, outside of her, we thought Harold was the monster. We were wrong. So how about we just leave them alone? Business decision, no cap.
It's pretty obvious at this point that yeah, we have figured out how to stop them because Loki stopped Harold, which was he obviously is the strongest out of any of them. He's stronger than any of the guys. Knights. The Gorsei were scared when they even made him immortal. Or they weren't scared, but they were like, you know,
Weary.
yeah, taken aback. You know what I mean? So, and even Gaban was like, he didn't even. He said it was hard to imagine there was a means to stop him with the way that he was regenerating. So, yeah, I mean, I think that is the way. Um, Loki obviously did something. I don't know if it was just his power, but it could still be something tied to hockey or whatever. But I don't know. Obviously, it's tied to the power of whatever devil fruit he ate, which we still don't know what that is, but it's somewhere with that, but I'm pretty sure it can be replicated. I'm pretty sure Luffy can, if he learned or if he saw, he could adapt and do the same thing. So speaking of Elbaph being D though, Emu stating that Elbaph is D, that just takes me into all types of thoughts of just what that even means, um, and how long he knew. Because from what I read, I'm thinking he knew the entire time because he was like, "Hey, Harold basically debased himself to be with us, which made him a heretic, which means basically he's going against everything they stand for." And I'm thinking it's just okay because Elbaph, they're warriors, they had to fight, whatever, whatever, and he became what's the word?
Docile.
Not docile. Became
Don't that mean calm though?
he didn't become docile. He became somebody who doesn't,
Pacifist?
yeah, became fascist basically. You know what I mean? So,
But I mean, he was still fighting for the world government. He wasn't really a pacifist.
but he became pacifist, and so I'm thinking it's just that. But then Emo takes it another step and says, no, he became a heretic because he shouldn't like they because the Elbaf is D. So we shouldn't even Elbaf should have never even had a king like him because they're literally the opposite, the opposing force of us. So it just takes me back into just thoughts like that, and then also thinking about Joyboy, and it that I immediately when I read Elbaf as D, I was immediately thinking Joyboy and the big straw hat that's frozen in Emu's wherever he's freezing it or whatever. And I'm just thinking it's like, okay, was Joyboy a giant? But then I get to thinking about this flashback with the silhouette of Joyboy talking to Emmett, and he doesn't look like a giant in that picture. And then you get to all the other theories of people saying that the straw hat was given to Joyboy by the princess, the Fishman princess or whatever back then, and basically that same way that Go Roger gave the hat to Shanks or Shanks gave the hat to Luffy or whatever. So it just basically just fires up a bunch of just thoughts and theories on what that actually means, and just be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Facts. To add to that, I think what Musama meant by Elbaph as D is we learned in the murals that there were allies of Joyboy. So obviously his initial um clan or whatever is amongst, but there were several others, and throughout the story we can say Alabasta, Fishman Island, Wano, and the Minks are all definitely tied to the deed. And I just simply, because I mean, these are all different people. So I just think that these were the allied nations of Joy Boy or of D in the past. And due to, because think about it, outside of Alabasta, these countries weren't affiliated with the world government until some radicalist did something that ushered them in. A Fishman Island, it was the princess, and she lost her life for it, but they ended up being, welcomed in. That's why she were hosting them, was at the Riviera and all of that. Then for Wano, not Wano, for Alabasta, it was the ancestors of like not Vivi's father, but his father and them got them in because we seen in the well,
Alabasta was Lily.
yeah, that's what yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Queen Lily.
Yeah. She was their representation. And whenever she did what she did, she paid for it. But you know what I'm saying? You can see the separation from these allied countries of Joy Boy and the world government. And how they and the ones that are affiliated are just kind of like, And the other ones are like, happy to be there, and they all with it. But it makes sense now, though.
Yeah, I could see that. I had thoughts along the lines of what Jay was thinking. Kind of like now everything I thought I understood about the D and what it was about, I'm now revisiting that. Like, because now Elbaph is D. Does that mean that Elbaph is where the people of the D lineage came from? Just like Joyboy and the Giant Hat. Those are the things that could, back up that theory. Or does that mean that Elbaph is the place of the final war? Like, what really could this mean? Because like now,
Yeah, because it's like the statement Elbaph is D. It's like
It's very vague, but very like telling at the same time.
I wouldn't even say it's vague. It's saying Elbaph is D. So it's like you first initial thoughts are saying this is where it originates. You know what I'm saying? That's what initial thoughts. I'm like, Elbaph is D. I understand what you're saying as well. It's like Joyboy had allies and things like that, and
Yeah, but I
D
mean,
was
he
initially
definitely
a
came from
clan and stuff like
somewhere, so
that.
that makes sense too. Yeah, that
That's what I'm
definitely makes
saying.
sense. But I ads.
It's like okay, is was he a is this where he's from? Is this his lineage, or is this where the D originates? Elbaph.
The
You know what I
thing
mean?
is, Joy Boy looked small in comparison to Emeth, but when you think about it, so would Whitebird, Kaido, and Big Mom. They're a completely massive being.
Yeah, but also they showed MF on the on. Remember they showed him an Egghead with the other giants around.
But I'm saying,
Did we get any panels with them in the
I'm saying,
same
look,
panel?
the reason that I said that is because Ida was only around 21 feet tall. Big Mom, Whitebird, and Kaido are all over 25 feet tall. So that's what I'm saying. Joy Boy could have been of that size. He could have been a massive dude, just not to the scale of a giant. You feel what I'm saying? He could have been still big from the comparison of a normal person to be able to wear that size of a straw hat. You know what I'm saying?
maybe he
But
was
he
a
didn't have to
buccaneer.
be as big as, you know,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of shapes and sizes in One Piece, and I don't want to. And giants don't have to be so big.
yeah. I mean,
Like we said, they can be a little smaller. So
I think it'll be interesting to see where just what comes from that because, as I've been trying to say, it could mean that Elbap that's where the D originates from, or it could just be that's just basically Imu just declaring that okay these are allies of or they've always been allies of Joy Boy or whatever because we still don't know what D is even though we have a good
Don, the people of the
that's what I'm
Don,
saying
you know what I'm saying? We got a
we have a
little
good thought
gist.
about good gist of or thought or about what it is but we still don't exactly know so I think I think it will be interesting to see what comes from that.
And we know that there's different factions, like you said. Because now finding out about the David clan made the mural make sense. Because I remember when that chapter first dropped, we was debating pretty much. At some point, the Sun God was definitely evil. Like on wax, the Sun God was for sure. Whoever he was, in one of these stories, he was not the good guy. The Davy clan is not portrayed as good people. Look at the Rocks, look at Blackbird, like you know what I'm saying? So now that we know for sure that they are also part of the D, there could be like a light and a dark to it. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes me think overall, like, what if Musama in their inception, like in their beginning, what if the people of D were on the lines of like Rocks and Blackbird, more like the evil scale, and he actually stood with the good people and they were that terrible. And now he made himself immortal, this, that, and the third, and now he's just always, you know, scorning them forever because of whatever, you know what I'm saying? Even though there's a good side. Because we know for a fact there's a light to the D. You know?
I can see that.
I don't know. It's weird. It brings a lot of fun thoughts for sure.
Another thing I thought was interesting from this chapter was I was always thinking because Jarul had this sword in his head, I'm always thinking he doesn't really remember what's going on in the past or what happened in the past. But from all this, it seems as though like he knows exactly what happened. They've just been keeping it secret just because of Loki's wishes were. Because remember, Harald was telling Loki to tell everybody exactly what happened, and Loki was like, "I'm not gonna do that because he didn't want to undo everything that Harold was doing, and he was like, just tell him, just don't tell him that. Tell him that I did it, or let him believe that I did it because it's not far fetched from anything else they believe or anything else that I've done anyway. So just to keep it at that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the rest of his soldiers and we're gonna go out to sea and avenge him. And I think that was interesting too because it was said that Shanks brought him back and tied him up. And I feel like Shanks actually had to do that because Shanks because Loki was actively trying to basically just take down the world government, and Shanks knew that it just wasn't the time. So he actually like had to maybe like fight and bring him back, which is probably why he called Shanks a coward. I don't know.
It makes sense, but it kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50 because at the same time, I mean, they all came to a man's agreement face to face in front of each other, but it could have been a stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, they probably didn't fight for real, but they definitely could have put on a good enough show to make the citizens of Elbaph believe, oh my God, look at like, you
Well,
know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
I know they were under, so they're all under the same assumption or not assumption. They're all on the same. They know the story, right? And they're all playing along with the story. But what I'm saying is Loki had his mind set on what he was trying to do, and I feel like to get him to come back, it might have been some sort of struggle.
They probably jumped him for real, Scappa and Shanks.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but
And I don't even think it was probably a fight for real. I think they probably snuck him and then went from there.
it could have been. I just thought it was interesting because just all the information that's coming forth. But
I'm with you.
finally ends the flashback, gets back to it, and it's like, hey, bro, like I just didn't want everything to be undone. But do you really think that I was so far gone that I would kill our dad, bro?
That's crazy.
And then basically once Gaban verified the story, Harun was like, "That's all I needed to hear," and then they just get right to it. So I think next chapter will be good because we finally will get to see some action.
Progression.
I won't say finally get to see some action because there's been action, but like action
Nah.
of
The boys.
the current time and like you said, progression, just moving forward into the story instead of going backwards. So
I got a question. Do we think Shanks makes his appearance? Does the emu pump fake finally force Shanks' hand to get himself involved in one of Luffy's affairs on the island instead of just sitting back waiting to see what happens?
I would say yeah, just based off how he's been talking and how he wants to be active. Like,
I think maybe he could, get pump faked by the emu taking over Gunko thing and feel like he got his shot to get his get back because he did just take out Kid around Elbaph and it didn't really say where he went.
I don't know. I still like the idea of you saying that we're not going to be on Elbaph too much longer, or like the battle's not going to go that deep because, like you said, because remember you said the Holy Land's on fire
Facts,
and the
facts,
Emu's trying to get them to come back.
facts.
So I think it's more. I still am leaning towards that. So I don't know. I don't think we would be because I just feel like Shanks pulling up would take away from
Yeah, this is
the
what
whole
this is.
the whole Lofi reveal because we
Yeah.
still got to find out what the fruit is. We still got to. You got
And
to think about
he
who's
has to
all on.
free Elbaph. Loki has to be the one
Yeah.
that gets the credit in front of everybody for saving us all and not being the monster we thought. And
Yes.
with Shanks there, that don't happen. Because then
Yeah.
they'll just say Shanks was helping the monster and Loki still evil. Loki has to be
Yeah, and you just gotta think who all is already on Elbaph right now, bro. Like
the squad.
we got the Straw Hats are on Elbaph, Vegapunk's on Elbaph, Kuma is on Elbaph. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Bonnie, the
yeah,
God's
so
Knights,
all the nights. So
Usama,
I just feel like Shanks pulling up. I don't see
kind of overload.
I don't see that happening right now. We got Gaban on Elbaph. You know what I mean?
Facts,
the
facts.
reason
So
why I say it could is because that could literally be the place of the final war. I like the theory, but
well, you change your place to the final war every
like,
week.
I
bro,
swear.
that's because my first place is gone.
Bro, we got to go to Laugh Tale. I told you in the SBS, the
I
order
get
dropped. We
that.
go to Laugh Tale soon.
But
So we
he
going
just said
there.
that Elbaph is D, and now, like y'all just pointed out, everybody's on Elbaph.
Shanks
Even
just
if
left.
they do go somewhere, there's no telling that they might not come back.
He
You feel
just
me?
left Elbaph too.
I feel you. They definitely could come back and that be the battlegrounds.
But that's not. It's
But
not.
yeah,
But we're not
I
even ready
don't.
for that
Yeah,
yet, bro. The
I
final
feel
I
like
battle
get
can't
that.
happen yet because they haven't even went to Laftel yet.
But how many times have people been foreshadowed and things have been foreshadowed? We
But
have
we're
things in
talking
our
about is
face.
Shanks gonna come there right now, and you're
I,
if he
I
you're
only said
saying
that though because of how passionate he was about Harold's passing, and the fact that Emu showed his face through Gunko on. You know what I'm saying?
but yeah, that was like 15 years ago, bro. So at this point, he's
Yeah,
matured and he's
yeah.
already so far gone and just like
Nah, he's dedicated to the
he's
plan.
dedicated to
He
his
ain't
plan at
interfered
this
in
point.
nothing else.
Yeah,
So yeah, why would he? If that was the case, he would have helped Okado or any of the other super problems we had. So.
yeah, he'd have been there. You know what I mean? So it's good stuff, man.
Facts.
Great,
So
some great stuff.
how do y'all feel about the squirrel and the hammer? What do y'all think as far as like capabilities? Like, what do y'all think the hammer can do outside of obviously hit hard and use ice? Do you think it has an hybrid form?
So
Like,
in the last panel, either Loki or Ragnar says Nibelheim, which you would assume that Oda's referring to the word Niflheim, which is Norse mythology related to ice and cold and like you said, hell.
yeah, terrible,
Which is
terrible conditions.
yeah. Um, so that's one of the powers, but also the opposite of that is called like Muspelheim or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's hard to pronounce, but yeah,
What was I'll look it up. It was called let's see. The opposite of that is called Muspelheim, which is the realm of fire. So remember when he attacked Harold, it was a burst of lightning or fire or something. So that could be the other power that it has. So it could have like multiple powers. Because we didn't get to. Did we hear? Did he say what the last one was? When he like attacked, did he like have a name for it? Probably not, because he had just got the power.
about when he hit Harold.
Yeah.
Nah, he just smacked him.
So I mean, I think those are some of the or a couple of the powers that it has. The power to do of ice and fire or lightning or whatever. That's crazy just to see, and just have those two. Pretty sure has maybe has like a wide range of powers that it might have. That's my thoughts. I don't know.
What you think, Scotto?
Yeah, I'm not really 100%. I know it's going to have a lot to do with like speed, stealth, and power, just because based off of the Norse mythology and how it's been on point with everything so far. So I really do not have a specific thing that I could see it really doing right now. I feel like it needs to be explained a little bit more before I fully get the grasp of what it can do. But I know for sure it's going to have to do with like imagine an actual squirrel and the things that you know squirrels are good at times 1,000.
Yeah, they really drawing this out to his power because he didn't even. He's just hitting the jogger with Ragnar. He doesn't even pull out his other form. So I really want to see what his form is.
Another thing, we got more. I feel like we're getting like bits and pieces of what Brook could be capable of because when Brook when Brook came back from after the time skip and he had ice powers from the underworld, I love how every time we meet a new person from the underworld, they somehow got relations to ice, just like Brook. I feel like they tie together. I could be reaching, but I'm telling y'all, I don't think I am.
I mean,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, sure.
They sticking on topic with Norse mythology and how hell's like a frozen tundra and stuff like that could be on point. But I think we still got some more development before we figure out stuff like that.
But Brook was on that ice stuff before the underworld, bro. He did
he
he
got
did
it from
his
his devil fruit. That's what I'm saying.
he did
His
his
devil
little
fruit
uh
made him die and come back to life. He went to the underworld and became the king of the underworld, like they call him. And now he can use ice powers. That's what I'm saying. The man that's nicknamed the king of the underworld, Brook, somehow can use ice powers.
when
And
did he go to the underworld
when he was coming out of them black circles in the time skip,
on the time skip? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when he got his devil fruit, he didn't actually die. He died, but he didn't die.
well, in order for his devil fruit to activate, he passed away.
Yeah, but he didn't go anywhere. He was still on that ship. person.
Yeah, but he still had to die though. I'm saying like his soul left,
Yeah.
and we know his soul can move because he shows us all the time.
And you're saying because that
Like
now
because
he
he's
has ice
yeah,
powers.
like he is from the underworld. Like this is another underworld related character that also has ice abilities. And Ragnir just showed off Niflheim, which is like you just said, the representation of cold, hell, whoop, whoop, whoop. All of these things are underworld related, and I'm saying I feel like this is another little piece we get. You know what I'm saying? Because it directly relates to Brook as far as Niflheim, the underworld, and all of the ice, and you know what I'm saying. Again, I could be reaching, but it was just a thought I just had like right here in the moment when you just said that. Because I'm like, dang, hold on, Brook came back, and I mean he been freezing everything since.
Did y'all ever go? Have you ever like dove deep into the theories of where that large straw hat came from?
I have, but when I was looking at them originally, we were still like I was looking at that stuff when we was in Wano, and I didn't have with the information I have today, I could probably get better insight, but from when I was looking at it, bro, I was lost in the sauce. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I've heard like two things. Like one of them was, like I said earlier, they were saying that whoever the princess of Fishman Island was back then gave Joyboy the hat. There was another one that was talking about I kind of forgot what the other one was, but basically it was like, remember how they Emmett had a knot that was infused with Joyboy's hockey? There was another one basically saying that the hat is infused with Joyboy's hockey, and that's why Emu has it frozen to be able to use that to jumpstart Uranus or something like that. The one of the secret weapons or the ancient weapons.
The only reason that I don't like that last one is because that would defeat the purpose of the Mother Flame. And we know that's like the eternal source of energy that never runs out. It
Yeah,
never goes away.
right, but you need a mother flame to jumpstart something else.
Nah, but the Mother Flame, as Vegapunk described it, again, it can power anything, everything. Like there are no restrictions, and it never runs out. So I wouldn't need anything to jumpstart anything. We just stole the Mother Flame.
This is stuck in my head because I'm trying to piece together what the importance of Emu keeping this hat frozen would be. It,
A
and, and,
reminder,
and, and but it's why is it frozen? You know what I mean?
it could be how the battle took place. Maybe they froze and shattered Joy. I mean, I don't know.
I know it's
It
like one of the most.
yeah. My thing is there's zero context to it.
I know that's what I'm saying. That's
Like
I'm just
that's
I'm
what makes it very like
yeah. That's why I'm
you know.
that's why I'm just thoughts on it. I, this chapter made me start thinking about it again because him saying Elbaph is D. I know I keep saying that, but it's just making me think that Joyboy was a giant or close related or something. I don't know because where the hell else would the hat come from? And you know what I mean? The King of Pirates would have had Luffy, who is now Joyboy, has the hat. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think from that he should be a giant. But then again, I'm just like I don't think he is. For some reason I think he's not going to be, and there's going to be some other reason why there's a giant straw hat freezing in Emo's somewhere in his castle.
I think he just lost, and he was a giant when he lost. And Luffy make himself a giant countless times.
True.
If I morph, because the devil fruit is gonna affect everything that I'm wearing, including my hat. If I'm a giant when you kill me, and my hat falls off my head, the hat's gonna stay big. I think it's just a piece of memorabilia of it's like to remind me of my hatred of you. I never forget. This
But
hat,
no,
like you know what I'm saying?
I remember though. Nika is the sun god, but Joyboy wasn't necessarily Nika. Luffy is Nika. Because remember, there's three. There's three.
Yeah,
First
but
was the first one had to deal with Nika. The second one was Joyboy, and the third one's Luffy.
they're the same person. Not literally speaking, but entity wise, it's like a reincarnation loop. So Nika was first. Joy Boy was the reincarnation of Nika. The only reason I think this is because I've heard them call Luffy both. Oh, that's Nika. Oh, that's Joy
That's what I
Boy.
was getting at.
They're the same man,
I was get
essentially.
what I was getting at is Luffy is the reincarnation of both of them. of Nika and
and Joyboy
Joyboy.
together. You think he's
I
the
think
reincarnation
there
of
was
both?
Nika and I think there was Joyboy and I think Luffy is both of them. And I think that's what is gonna take for the Dawn to bring forth the Dawn.
I don't know, cause well, which one of them was evil then?
I don't know. I'm just it's
No, that's just an open question, cause it just makes me think. You know what I'm saying? Cause we know one of the three from the mural's point of view was for sure evil. No questions asked.
I I don't know because but remember it's like they say Nika just brought forth just war. He was like a warmonger anyway,
Oh,
right?
that's what Nika did.
Right?
I'm not sure.
He's a warrior of liberation, but he
Yeah.
always was fighting. You know what I mean? And he laughed. He got joy
I
out of
thought
that.
I thought Joyboy was the warrior of liberation. From my understanding, the first mural was like the Earth God fought something, and then the world went into darkness or whatever, and then from out the darkness, that's when the second world pretty much describes like that evil version of the sun god, where warmongering and just taking over.
I could have just been talking about Joyboy being a pirate or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, yeah, because he was the first pirate. That would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense.
I don't know. I
Nah,
mean,
that would make sense though, because pirates have a negative light in the real world of One Piece. Like if we're looking at it logically from a citizen in the One Piece world, pirates are not good people. None of them.
remember our last episode, you guys were talking about the possibility of this all just being propaganda and that Joyboy could have already been king. But then after just I was doing some other research on some stuff. Remember, Emeth was apologizing for not being able to make Joyboy king, which means he wasn't king. You know what I'm saying? But and then Nika could have been king because Nika was literally just the sun god. He was the manifestation of the basically the slaves,
Yeah,
like
the prayers.
and prayers of the slaves, and he became their god of liberation. So I don't know. This is all definitely mind boggling for sure. All of it, and it's all interesting. So um, I'm just excited to see what comes next out of it. Before we close out, you guys got any more like thoughts or things you want to get off your chest?
Yep. I think here soon we'll see a darker side of our good boy Luffy. I don't think he'll necessarily be evil, but Oda hasn't shown us him being serious within Gear 5 yet. Yes, Gear 5 makes him laugh, and the more he laughs and the happier he is, the stronger he gets. But at some point, something's gonna have to force his hand to really, really turn. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know because he
And
he
only,
he literally watched Vegapunk get killed, and it pissed
wait,
him off for a second, and then he
yeah,
started laughing again.
but Joy Boy's hockey knot and the look on his face is what makes me feel like, you know what I'm saying? There's another level that's gonna make you, because mind you, he was in Gear 5,
Yeah.
happy, bouncy, and that hockey went off and stone cold. Hold up. Like he was really taken aback by that. Like, yo, hold on. So I'm saying very clearly there's a different tier of power that could probably force, you know what I'm saying? We just seen it in Elbaph in the middle of, and we just won. We ran escape and then kaboom. And literally he looked worried. Whose was that? Like what was that? So, and I think with the appearance of Muthu Gunko, we could get a glimpse of something that powerful, especially knowing that Loki's all, Oda does even. If the good guys are this strong, the bad guys gotta at least be even. So if Loki is portrayed to be this monstrous, you know, strongest thing ever in Elbaph, we have to see something of equivalent so that they can have a struggle. Or like, you know what I'm saying? It has to be some sort of a fight. We at war right now.
Yeah,
So,
but then again, gotta remember Loki single handedly defeated Harold in one shot, even though Harold didn't fight back. He he defeated Harold in one shot. So if he can do that, I feel like Luffy just might. Hopefully he's not. Hopefully we get to see some action, but Luffy might just be chilling and just watching Loki fight.
the only reason that I don't agree with that is because Elbaph is massive and we don't know how many monsters. Like we'd have to go back to the chapters and look at the pages to see just about how many monsters are around, because right now the entirety of Elbaph, all three realms is in a panic because
Yeah,
they're all being overrun.
but if you take out killing him, you take out all those monsters.
I don't think Killingham's power deactivates when he gets injured. I don't think it works like that with him because those manifestations was the dreams of those kids. I don't think he has anything to do with that. No, I think once it's activated, you just gotta kill him. I'm pretty sure that's how he explained it, if I'm not mistaken, because that was like the big problem. Like once they hear, and that's also why Moo was like, we can leave because you've already brought forth all of the problems. We no longer have to stay around and watch. Like job's done, leave. Come on. He wouldn't be saying that if all it took was to destroy Killingham. And Gaban just rendered Killingham pretty much immobile and useless.
No, that wasn't killing him. That was Summers.
You're right. You're right. Right. I always get them confused. Right. But yeah, nah. Because they manifestations of them dreams. So I don't think doing anything to Killingham deactivates that. I think they're there into their defeat.
Do you think Gaban survives Elbaph, or you think he does some sort of like sacrifice for something?
I don't know. The literal warrior god of liberation is right with him, and he's with Chopper and Sanji. I think he stays protected.
They on their way up, but I mean, you could say that, but we just watched Vegapunk get killed
Yeah,
right
but
next to him.
yeah, but Vegapunk planned to die.
Still,
I mean, we learned that in Egghead, he literally planned his own death, wiped his memory, and then just followed suit. Gaban ain't planning no death that we know of.
yeah. But
He just want and he clearly wants to be okay to see his son. So I don't think.
how did he get injured again? I forgot what his injury was.
Pretty sure it was when they got attacked.
Yeah,
When
he was trying to save his son, and then
it was Thornman.
yeah,
Mhm.
Summers.
Yeah, Thornman messed him up on his way down. Because Chopper jumped off the cliff to go with him. He took that lick.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, he took that open lick, and then because he wasn't gonna get there in time to save his son, I think. And
basically, but Chopper like already basically like healed him. I was
yeah,
just saying because he's hurt, and then he might just keep fighting because he's trying to check on his son or whatever.
yeah, I don't think he want to die. He don't give him type vibes. He could though. He very well could be on some old man. I've seen enough. Roger, the man's here. It's all. He could be on that.
You think there are any other Roger Pirates left besides Shanks, Buggy, Gaban,
Crocus.
and what's his name? Oh yeah,
Crocus.
Crocus is left. Yeah, besides Crocus and
Rayleigh.
Riley.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just don't. None of them have given vibes of I want to die.
No.
They all make it very clear we want to see. We couldn't do it, so we want to watch the next young ones going to make it happen.
You think there's a lot more left of them?
Maybe,
Probably.
Because he
But-
he had a grand fleet.
but
You
we
know he
can't.
had
But we
to.
can't say this though. He was the pirate king. They absolutely hated his soul, and if you weren't of the likes of Rayleigh and Gaban, you could have gotten killed. You could have just gotten hunted down and killed because when they popped up at Saba Odi and they seen Rayleigh and they asked Kizaru, why aren't we getting, that's the Dark King, he was the right hand of Roger. And Kizaru let them know plain and simple. If we want to capture him, we have to do a whole lot more than this. Don't nobody got time for that.
Also remember though, they disbanded before Roger turned himself in.
Yeah, so they could have got away and hid
They probably
and
just
ducked
you know what I
off
mean?
and, Scopper went and got him a giant wife. You know what I'm saying? So, hey.
Yeah, but my ending thoughts from this chapter, going forward, bro, is now I'm thinking more about how everybody else who's of the D connects to Elbaph now. Because of course we know the obvious connections with Luffy and Elbaph and things of that nature. But what does that mean for Trafalgar D Law and Marshall D
cousins?
Teach? It's a lot more D's. And like now, Elbaph is D. So I get what it means for Luffy, but what about them?
Right.
So now that's what I'm thinking of moving forward, and that's what that chapter. So this chapter has given me more thoughts and more theories that lets me know, oh, we're not ending no time soon.
Yeah, because even with their god, like Nika being their god, and then just having that statement, Elbaph is D, it's like we haven't heard any other. That's another thing that just came to my head. We haven't heard any other countries or lands or whatever saying that Nika is their god.
Yeah, I think they could have been referred to as D because they are the literal people who worship him, and they're the reason for his existence.
That's
'Cause
what
we
I'm
know
getting
the
at.
wishing of
That's what I'm getting. At.
liberation. Yeah, so
And that's why he likes war so much,
Yeah,
and that's why
the Giants
it's in
very
their
well
blood.
could have been responsible for his existence for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
They could have been those people that wished upon a star.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
that's what I'm saying. But But the Giants, I don't think they were ever slaves.
I think whenever Musama did whatever he did to take control of the world, everybody was slaves, and as we see, you just don't have a choice. So unless you're Nika, you're at the whim of whatever he want to do.
Not because Elbaph, like Wano, has always been separate from everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think that has more to do with Mu just not wanting to cross paths than it does them having freedom and being powerful.
Oh no, because if
Because
his
remember, they
theory is him being a giant, it checks out. Like he couldn't do that to Elbaf, so Elbaf stayed free that whole time.
yeah that and
Or
also
it just could be they're pure.
who
Like they're the pure lineage. Like you said, it could just a start. Like their genealogy, their lineage is why I couldn't dominate her. But I don't know, because he dominated reversed the land full of giants. There's a lot of giant pirates right now, Dory and Broggy included, that against their will, for sure just got flipped.
yeah, but Jordan Bargain's not on Harold's level. You know what I mean?
Facts.
So it is. I just thought that was interesting though because of the fact
They
that
all strong. It's crazy.
the fact that Nika is their god. And that's the only people's god that we've heard of, Nika, and it comes from Elbaf, and Elbaf is D. So it'll be interesting to see what comes from that and just how we dive deeper into that. But that's our time for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed this. If you did enjoy, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you next time.